Partial products are ways to break down a problem to better understand it. We use this when working with bigger numbers, so I can break it down into smaller chunks that are easier to work with. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to just do a little example. Okay, so we're going to take the problem 12 times 14. And we're going to break it down into tens and ones. There's multiple ways you can do this, but this is the fastest way that I find and the easiest way to work with it. So if you break 12 down into tens and ones, we get 10 plus 2. Now we're going to multiply that by, when you break down 14 into tens and ones, you get 10 and 4. We are then going to multiply. We're going to start with these numbers. So we're going to multiply 10 by 10, which gives us 100. You know what, I'm going to do this in a different color. We're going to start by multiplying, 10 by 10. When you multiply 10 times 10, you get 100. So then you're going to take, after that, you're going to take, 10 times 4, which is 40. Then you take 2 and you multiply that by 10 and you get 20. And then finally, you guessed it, we're going to take the 2 and the 4 and we're going to multiply those together. We're going to get 8. After we do that, we add up all of the numbers. So 40 plus 20 is 60. Then you bring down this 100, so 100 plus 60 plus 8 equals 168. So that is the basic way to do it. There is another way to write it that I honestly find easier, so we're going to do it that way too. We're going to take, but we're going to do it with a more difficult problem. We're going to take, let's see, we're going to take the numbers 54, and we're going to multiply that by 64. So we're going to start by multiplying the 50 times the 60. And when we do that, we get 3,000 because you take 5. 5 times 6 is 30, and then you add 2 zeros to that. So we get 3,000. Then we're going to take the 50 times 4, and we get 200. Then we're going to take this 60 and we're going to multiply it by this 4, and that gives us 240. And then when we're finally going to take the 4 and we're going to multiply it by itself because there's 2 4s here, so we multiply 4 by 4 and we get 16. After we do this, we're going to add up all the numbers. So 6 plus 0 is 6. 4 plus 1 is 5. 2 plus 2 is 4. And then 3,000 plus nothing is 3,000. So our answer is 3,456. So the lattice method is another method we can use to break down bigger multiplication questions and make it easier for us to understand by doing smaller numbers, by doing smaller calculations. So we're going to start with the number 43, and we're going to multiply that by 37. So what you're going to do is, you see how I have these diagonal lines? These diagonal lines show you the tens place and the ones place. So you're going to take each of these numbers and you're going to multiply them together. So 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 3 is 9, so we're going to put a 9 here and a 0 in the tens place. 4 times 3 is 12, and 4 times 7 is 28. Now that we have all of these numbers, what we're going to do is we're going to add them together in each diagonal row. So I'm just going to draw my addition signs right now. So what we're going to do is, so you see this 1 is all by itself in the column. All we have to do is bring this number down. Now we're going to add together 8, 2, and 9. 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 9 is 19. So we're going to put the 9 here, and then we're going to put this 1 up here. And we're going to add it to this next line, this next diagonal, because it represents we have more than 100 now. We have 1,000. So we're going to take the 2 and the 2. We're going to add 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 0 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So we're going to put this 5 here. And we don't have anything in the 10,000, anything else but this 1 in the 10,000s column, so all we do is have that 1 right there. After that, we take all of these numbers. We're going to look at them like this and write it like we see it. So 1, 5, 9, 1, which gets us our answer, which is 1,591. We're going to do, this next one is going to be a little bit more difficult because we are going to do a 3-digit number and multiply that by a 2-digit number. So our number is going to be 347. We're going to multiply that by 82. So just like the last one, we're going to take each number and multiply them together. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times 8 is 56. 4 times 8 is 32. 8 times 3 is 24. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. Now, just like this last one, we're going to add up everything in each diagonal. We're going to add them all together, starting with the ones place. So there's only a 4 right here, so we just bring this number down. 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 6 is 15. So just like the last one, we're going to bring this 1 up right here. We're going to bring the 5 down here. And then we're going to add this 1 because this symbolizes we have another 100. We're going to add it together with this row. 6 plus 2 is 8, plus, okay, 6 plus these, 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 2 is 14. So we take that 4 and we bring that 1 up. We're going to add up all these in the thousands because now we have more than just 100. We have 1,400. So we're going to take this 4, we're going to add it to the 3, and that 7 plus 1 is 8. Big plus 0 is 0, so this 8 is right here. And then we only have this one little lone 2 right here, so we're going to take that 2, we're going to bring that down. After that, we're going to put all of these numbers and look at them from side to side and write them how we see them. 2, 8, 4, 5, 4. So that gives us our answer of 28,451. The left to right method is a method of addition that helps us break down bigger numbers to make it easier to add them together. So we're going to start with a semi-simple problem. We're going to do 47 plus 32. So what we're going to do is kind of like in the partial products, we're going to break things down. We're going to start by adding, we're going to go from the direction left to right. So we're going to start with 40, and we're going to add it to 30. 40 plus 30 equals 70. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this number, we're going to take the 7, we're going to add it to 2, so 7 7 plus 2 equals 9. Then what we do after we have all of these numbers, we're going to add them together to get 79, which is our answer. We're going to do something a little bit more difficult. We're going to do another problem. We're going to do 76 plus 95, not 97, 95. So what we're going to start with is we're going to add 70 plus 90, which is 160, because 7 plus 9 is 16, and then you add a 0. The next number we're going to do is the 6 plus the 5, which gives us 11. And then we add up these numbers, and we get 171, which is our answer. We're going to do one that's a little bit more tricky. We're going to do 3-digit numbers. So we're going to take the number 435 plus 724. So what we're going to start with, we start first with the hundreds place. So 400 plus 700, which gives us 1100. Then we take the tens place, which is 30 plus 20, which gives us 50. And then finally we take the ones place, which is 5 plus 4, which gives us 9. Then we add all of these together, so 9 plus 0 is 9. I'm going to change the color. 9 plus 0 is 9. 5 plus 0 is 5. 100 plus nothing is 100. And then 1,000 plus nothing is 1,000. So our answer is 1,159. So the next method we're going to talk about is actually a subtraction method. We are going to talk about the equal add-ins method, which is where you take two numbers that you're subtracting from each other and you add different numbers to each number in order to make it easier to subtract. So we're going to start with a pretty simple one. We're going to start with the number 246, and we're going to subtract it from, I'm going to do it over here, 172. You see, these numbers are difficult to subtract because 7 is bigger than 4, and we have to borrow, and it just makes it more complicated. So we're going to start by trying to make this number an easier number to work with. So we're going to start by adding 8 to each side. The only way we can make this problem work is by adding the same number to each side so we can keep it even. So 172 plus 8 is 180, and 246 plus 8 is 254. But these numbers still don't work because 8 is bigger than 4, and therefore we can't work it very well. So what we're going to do next is we're going to add 20 to each side. So 254 plus 20 equals 274, and 180 plus 20 equals 200. See, this number right here is much easier to subtract because 4 minus 0 is 4, 7 minus 0 is 7, and 2 minus 2 is 0. So our answer is 70, not 47, is 74. We're going to do